What's going on, people, and welcome to another top 10. And this week we've got top 10 all-time Liverpool players for me. And I haven't got, as I said, for people that are new to this, I don't have players that I didn't grow up watching, so there won't be the likes of an Ian Rush or Alan Hansen, people like that, because I didn't grow up at that time watching them. So these are all people I've grown up watching, and even they can be current players as well. So I hope you enjoy it. This one got the most votes, and I'll put, obviously, as always, in the community for the next top 10 for you to get voting to see which one you want. So let's get into it. At number 10, we've got a modern player, and it's Andy Robertson. Got him from Hull for a bargain price. He's a Champions League winner. He's a Premier League winner. I think he's won a Super Cup and things like that as well. To be honest, for a cheap price that they got him for originally, he's turned into one of the best left-backs in the world, in my opinion. Captain of his country as well. The energy he shows down that left side, the quality of crossing, and he can pop up with a goal every rare occasion as well. And I think he's one of them leaders on a pitch and an important character in the dressing room that adds. He's got the banter, but he can be serious when he needs to be as well. And he's feisty on the pitch. Not only is he a good player with the ball and technically, but he's quick. He's got stamina for days. And he's already won multiple things in his time, and he's still going at Liverpool. So, yes, they have to do it with a great manager like Klopp. These players can't be that great, I don't think, without a decent manager behind them. But the players deserve credit as well. And for me, he has to make the list, even though he's a modern player. And it's Robertson at number 10. Number 9, another modern player, and his buddy in crime on the other side of the field at right back, Trent AlexanderArnold. For me, the only criticism what I would have is that defensively he is a bit dodgy, but I think that he could definitely work on that and improve that over the years. But going forward, I think he offers us something that we've never really had at right back. He reminds me a bit of Beckham with his set pieces and his dead ball ability that he has, and I think he's probably the best passer of a ball and definitely crosser of a ball since Beckham. So that's high praise from me. I don't give out praise like that easily. And for me, he has to make the list because, as I said, the quality on the ball he has. And obviously, he's got that quick thought in his head as well. He's not the most quick player in terms of speed, but he's a very clever player, especially on the ball and attacking. What I will use as an example of that is against Barcelona in the Champions League when he took that really quick corner. Yes, you have to be switched on to do that and to think ahead of the game and ahead of the rest of the players. And obviously, Origi scores it, but them two were on sync for that and took the corner quickly. But that was from Trent's thinking straight away. He spotted him, and then obviously they went on to do what they did. So Trent Alexander-Arnold in at number 9. Number 8, Sadio Mane. Obviously just left Liverpool recently, but I think he will go down as a legend for them for what he's done at the club at his time. He won numerous things with them as well. Champions League winner, Premier League winner. He had a season a few years back where I thought he was the main guy at Liverpool, even in front of Salah. I understand why people are sad to see him go, but I wouldn't hold it against him. Like, he's won pretty much everything he could have for Liverpool, and he wants to have a new challenge. You know, that's what life's about for me. So I'm not holding a grudge, or like, I know he's not. I'm a Manchester United supporter, so like, if it was a United player, I might feel a bit different, but I don't think I would, to be honest, because even though you want to keep them sort of players, they will move on naturally, like Ronaldo did in the past with United, and even though he's come back, we lost him at a time where he could have given us a few more years at his best. So, and look what he went on to do at Madrid. So, but for me, Mane, I'm happy for him that he won what he did with Liverpool, and I think he will go on to prove again in Germany what a quality player he is. So, Sadio Mane, number 8. At number 7, another current player, Philippe Coutinho. He's probably my favourite Liverpool player when he was at Liverpool. Obviously, I was a big fan of Suarez, what he did there as well, and I do like Gerrard and other players, but Coutinho, for me, I knew a little bit about him when he was at Inter Milan. Even though he didn't play a lot at Inter Milan, I did know about him a bit, and then he came to Liverpool, got more game time. I just remember the free kicks he scored at times, the shots from long distance he scored. He's a quality player, and he's shown it at Aston Villa, even though he's a bit older now and He might not be doing it as consistently as he was, but I think you can still see the quality and what he offers when he's on the pitch. And for me, he's a very underrated player. If he can stay fit, I'd have him in my team every day of the week. I'd love him at United. Big fan of him, and I've always liked him. And I was shocked when he went to Barcelona that it worked out how it did for him, because he is a quality player, and he has to make the list for me. Philippe Coutinho, number 7. Number 6, a guy that you could argue that if he wasn't part of this current squad, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. I do think he's a little bit overrated at times. I wouldn't... Like, he got in the team of the season, this season just passed, and he was injured for a big spell of it. So for me, there was people ahead of him for that, in terms of Konate and Matip. I think they should have been in it instead of him because they played longer, and I think over the course of the season deserved to be in it over him because he was out so long. But that is Virgil van Dijk. I think if he doesn't come into the Liverpool team when he did, they don't go on to win the Champions League, and they don't go on to win the Premier League without his solidarity at the back, if you will, and his leadership. The pace he's got for a centre-back is just not what we've seen before. The strength, the reading of the game. He does make the odd mistake, but it's not often. And I don't think that they win what they have done over the last few years without him in the squad. So for me, he has to be in here, and he makes it in at number 6. But as I said, if you want leadership, he's got it. If you want pace, he's got it. If you want him to play out from the back, he's got it. So he's a very well-rounded player. I just think sometimes he gets a little bit overhyped in front of other players that I think are probably a little bit better. But you can't doubt the quality that he brings to that Liverpool side. And as I said, without him in there, they won't win all that they've won without him. So I do rate him. I just think there's some players that probably are a little bit ahead of him for me. But has to make this list for Liverpool. Van Dijk, number 6. Number 5, someone that, in terms of when I used to go and watch Reading play, was the best player I've seen in person on an individual performance, and that is Fernando Torres. El Nino. I still need to see that documentary he's put out. I can't access it at the moment, but I'd love to watch that. I don't know if he's retired yet. I know he was playing in, I think it was Japan, and he looks like a bodybuilder nowadays. But as I said, for a few years at Liverpool, he was untouchable in my opinion. The strength, the power, the reading of the game, the timing of his runs, he could score headers, he could score with either foot. Just like a ball up front, and he would just take over games and win you games if his team needed him to. And quality player, and as I said, as an individual performance, probably the best I've ever witnessed against my local side in Reading. He was quality and he scored a goal against us, but just his overall play in that game, fantastic. So Torres obviously destroyed United as well. As a United fan, he destroyed us at Old Trafford in that grey kit, if you remember, run us ragged. So quality player, Fernando Torres, number 5, and obviously won numerous things with his country as well. And he was Atletico Madrid's youngest ever captain as well. Lots of accolades, and fully deserves it for me, even though his career kind of went downhill after Liverpool. But what he did in them times, I don't think anyone will forget. Fernando Torres, number 5. Number 4, a guy that I see a lot of people hating on, but I think it's more as a pundit. I don't particularly enjoy him as a pundit myself. But as a player, he was one of there was 2 players I had growing up that were my heroes and I looked up to, and this guy was one of them, and it was Michael Owen. The pace the guy had, what he did in '98, coming on against Argentina at such a young age, doing what he did, unbelievable. The confidence he had. I read his book recently. Fantastic read. If you haven't got his book, go get that. He goes a lot into detail about his time for England, Liverpool, all his clubs he's been at, basically. It's a really good book. But yeah, what he did at such a young age, he definitely had that winner's mentality. The goal he scored against Arsenal is one that stands out for me in my head. Against Adams as well, do you know what I mean? Not against any like Sunday League team or like lower league team. He did it against an Arsenal side at the time that were very tough to play against. And with a better side in that game, and they still won Liverpool, and he had a big part to play in it, Owen. So for me, as I said, one of my heroes growing up. My other one was David Beckham. Obviously this is a Liverpool list, but him and Michael Owen were my heroes growing up. And a lot of people hate on him, and I don't think he always gets the credit he should. He had a great record for England, Scored against Brazil in the 2002 game before the Ronaldinho thing happened. And if it wasn't for injuries, I think he would have got even more goals for England as well. And even more for Liverpool before he left and stuff. But injuries did alter his career and affect it. But one of my favourite ever players in terms of just world football as well. So had to make the list. Number 4, Michael Owen. Number 3, Luis Suarez. He only had a short time at Liverpool, but what he did at Liverpool was fantastic, and that is why I've even put him in front of Owen, because he should have won a Premier League that season where Gerrard slipped. The numbers he put up for Liverpool, he was just unbelievable in terms of what he did. The amount of goals he scored, the confidence he had. You knew if he was going to play pretty much every game, he was going to get a goal when he was involved. Just sheer quality. Go and look back at some of them goals he scored for Liverpool single-handedly. Won Liverpool games at times. I just wish he was there a little bit longer for me because I enjoyed him in the Premier League. It was a joy to watch. Yes, you got the biting incidents at different times with him, but he went on to Barcelona. Look what he did there. And I even knew about him at Ajax a little bit at the time. So, quality player and one of the best ever players, especially from his country as well for Uruguay. So, yeah, has to make the list. Fantastic. That season he had at Liverpool was just, I don't think anyone really, in terms of numbers, maybe Salah, but for me, just, he's such a quality player, and I don't think he always gets the credit he should, because I think people hold his character against him and the bite and stuff. But in terms of just footballing ability, he's one of the best. Luis Suarez, number 3. Number 2, Mohamed Salah. Just for sheer numbers, I had to put him this low down. He's still doing it. Obviously, he's won a Premier League, he's won a Champions League, he's got the mindset, he's got the confidence. I think he's getting better. It's going to be interesting to see what he does this season coming up with Núñez coming in, and obviously Diaz now with Mane offloading and going now. It's offered up space more for Diaz to play and Núñez. So, yeah, he's going to have a permanent place in that front three, regardless of if they bring in Jota or Firmino at times. He's always going to start. So, for me, what he's done over the seasons he's been here for Liverpool, and his numbers are unbelievable. I watched him in the African Cup of Nations. He missed out on that, but he got quite far in the tournament for him. But he was heartbroken, and I can see why. But just what he's done in football, like, I was watching a game the other day, an old game. It was actually the game where Liverpool messed up, where Gerrard slipped and Demba Ba scored. Salah was actually playing for Chelsea in that game, and he got subbed off at about, I think it was like 60, 70th minute or something. And you hardly noticed him in the game, and I was watching him, keeping a close eye on him, because I remember his time at Chelsea. You wouldn't have known that he would have gone on to do what he did. And I actually said to my missus when we were watching it the other night that you wouldn't have guessed at that time that he would have gone on to do what he's done. He was a good player, but he wasn't involved in games like he is now, and he couldn't take over games like he could now. And he don't even look like he had the mindset back then. So it's very interesting to see him back then to now. I remember seeing him at Basel in the Champions League over the years and seeing him do stuff, and I remember him then. And then he went to Chelsea and it didn't really work out. But then he went on to Roma and Fiorentina, and then people started sitting up and taking notice. But I think he definitely shifted his mindset and worked harder, and now look what he's doing. And he's still going, and I think he will continue to win stuff with Liverpool until he decides to leave like Mane did. So the guy at Liverpool now, Mohamed Salah, has to make the list. And just for sheer numbers, you got to put respect on it. So that is why he's number 2 for me. And then number 1, it can't be anyone else but Steven Gerrard. The guy that is Mr. Liverpool, Mr. Anfield. It's just unfortunate he never won a Premier League, and ultimately fate would have it, it was his slip that cost him that. And I know it haunts him to this day, but I think he's doing a good job at Villa. I think they have a better season this season coming. I think he will be a good manager. It's been a bit up and down so far, but that is understandable. He's still learning. Won a Champions League against AC Milan, dragged them back into that game. And without him on the pitch for that Champions League game in Istanbul, they don't win that game for me. So a leader, vocal when you need him to be, clutch moments, the goal against Olympiacos, the goal against West Ham, just so many clutch moments where he's come up when his team needed him to, not only as just a player but your captain as well. He's doing that as well. So even coming onto the scene as a youngster, I remember him, he had an impact, he had the confidence, he didn't mind fighting grown men, even when he wasn't fully grown into his body at the time. He had that mentality, he didn't shy away. A player as well, someone for England that should have won something for the quality of player he was. Stayed loyal to Liverpool as well, he was very close to leaving and joining Chelsea, but stayed loyal. And I think he will go down as he already is a legend. But if he'd have gone to Chelsea, I think it would have hampered people's memories of him as a Liverpool guy. And I think he will be future Liverpool manager as well. That'll be in a few years for me. I could see that happening. But one of my favourite ever players to watch, even though he was for a rival, always enjoyed him. And he has to make this list. And I couldn't put him anywhere other but number one for what he did for his club. Won numerous titles for them in terms of a Champions League, League Cup, FA Cups, multiple things, Super Cups and things for them. Quality player, one that I miss watching a lot. And I think you can definitely see his mentality of the player he was in his Villa side now with the terms of their physicality and the type of football they try and play. So that is my list, guys. My top 10 all-time Liverpool players. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave yours in the comments and don't forget to get into the community tab and vote for your next ones you want to see, guys. Didn't reach the target for 1st of June with the 2,000 subscribers, but we move, guys. We stay with the positivity. I've got a new target now. 2,000 subscribers by the 1st of December is the new target. So come and help me on the road to 2,000, guys. Come and join in and let's get there for December to celebrate Christmas with. I'll see you guys soon.